I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, January the 7th, brought to you in part by VITALIX. Not all tubs are created equal. VITALIX has 44 different varieties of tubs to serve whatever need you might have. Also, they're having a tub giveaway for Feeder Flash gang members. If you're watching this Feeder Flash video on the NationalBeefWire site, click on the ad right next to this video that has VITALIX on it, and you'll get more information on how to register to win a free tub of VITALIX. If you're watching this on YouTube, go down in the descriptions and click VITALIX, and it'll take you to where you can register to win a free tub. But get the blue tub. Your cows will love you. Go to vitalix.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, going to have 4,500 head here today for the regular feeder cattle auction on Tuesday. Going to be starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be making the trip up there to Beaver County Stockyards, having a good sale there, and expecting about 1,000 to 1,100 calves. Most of them weigh to 400 to 600 pounds. About 80% of them weaned, and more than that, having at least one round of shots on them. Then 2,700 yearlings, 1,000 yearling heifers, most of them weighing 600 to 850 pounds, most of them coming in load lots. There's going to be 7 loads of 8-weight feeder heifers, big framing feeder heifers, guys, all off one deal. They're going to sell load by load by load, coming right in the morning, just one after the other, guys. Be about another 1,700 steers, yearling steers, most of them weighing 700 to 900 pounds. Be 6 loads, weighing 8 to 9 off one deal. Be a few grazing yearlings in the mix there. We are going to have the first of the in-house videos. Now, Beaver County Stockyards, I've told you recently how their receipts have really grown a lot, having huge sales. They think that a percentage of these big loads of yearling deals they can get, sell them right from the farm and sell them on the block there at Beaver County Stockyards. They think that maybe there's some people that would like to market cattle with Beaver County Stockyards that don't want to haul them all the way in there, and if they've got square loads, we can sell them right there. So this will be the first time they've done it. They're going to be doing it right around noon. And we've got 2 loads of good steers, black steers, have a little age on them. I mean, good, rugged, hardy steers there, weighing around 850 pounds, come from just over in the edge of Texas there, and going to be selling them. One of those loads will come later this week. The other load will come in 2 weeks. If you're interested in that, take delivery right there from the ranch. But we're interested in see how that's going to work, and we're hoping to build on that to start marketing more cattle on in-house video there at Beaver County Stockyards. Then on Wednesday they got the cow sale, about 800 cows, several bred cows if you're interested in some. One guy's bringing in 170 cows. He lost some leases, got no more places to turn them out there, so he's bringing them in. They're going to be running ages there. Some of them be older bred cows, but there will be several of them that will be younger bred cows. I'll have them checked and ready to go. 2 more consignments of bred cows. One deal is 24 head of just 3-year-old bred cows, and they're really nice. Make somebody a really good starter herd there. Another deal of red Angus bred cows, about 35 head of them running ages, guys. The new fed cattle market record was posted last week. We didn't get the final results from it until Monday when the report come out from USDA, but indeed we set an all-time new record high for fat cattle, and the way we judge that is your 5 area negotiated weighted average price on steers. And we didn't just barely squeak by it. We beat it by $1.84. Pretty impressive, guys. Went all the way up to $198.93. Now that's scaring the hell out of $2. Yeah, we had several cattle bringing $2.01. The bulk of the cattle brought $2 in the northern plains. but the weighted average with the Southern Plains sucking it down a little bit, 198.93. That's very, very impressive, beating the last record 6 months ago of 197.09. We also broke the dressed weighted average record by $1.27, and it's all the way up to 314.96, which tells you that almost all the dressed cattle brought 315. That's a big, big price, guys, and so it's very impressive to see the fat cattle doing that. You know, this time of year, any time of year, but especially with all these big carcasses. Of course, the numbers are tight, and we're more than making up for that red meat and beef production through the heavier carcasses. But you know, people are just lapping it right up, and your packers are still going after it. They're short bought. We see how short bought they got. They didn't do much slaughter over the holidays. About 110,000 less than a year ago through the 2 weeks of holidays there. I think a lot of it had to do with they just didn't have the cattle bought. We saw how aggressive they got last week, knowing that they needed to catch up this week. But guys still sitting in the driver's seat on fed cattle. Now that's the great thing, that we've got an all-time new record high for the history of the world. The bad thing is most all of the feeder cattle that's been put into feed yards bought over the last 6 weeks or so have a break even of $2 or higher. How the hell all those are going to work, I don't know. Maybe things will just keep going, but you were never really able to hedge those cattle and cover yourself all the way, because we haven't got that high on the board yet. But still really impressive market, and we're just going to keep riding the wave here. Everybody's scared of the market. They're scared of the board. The board keeps going up. It was very friendly all through the holidays. Big time friendly to start the week. This week, all your commodity futures were higher. All the grains were higher. It was just a good day on the board to start on Monday. We feel like some pressure's coming, but we've got record open interest. So a lot of people are playing the board. And, you know, if you were as bullish on fat cattle, or you know, the cattle market, to be buying these feeders and putting them in, you might as well just buy the board and keep your Sunday shoes on all winter, because if you think those cattle you're going to put in the yard are going to work, then the board's going to work too. But that's just another way to look at it. But didn't hear any news on the Mexican border opening. We thought we would get some news on Monday. The guys showed up down there, especially at Santa Teresa, expecting to hear some news about when the border was going to open. They've had cattle on the Mexican side. They've TB tested them. They've got them all ready. They were expecting maybe to get to cross some on Monday, or at least hear that maybe later in the week, or at what point we were going to be able to start crossing Mexican cattle back into the United States. But nothing happened, and no news happened on Monday there. So I don't have any more to report there. Let's talk about your board to start the week on Monday. And like I said, it was very impressive. February live cattle futures up $1.15 at 195.20. April was up 127 at 197.27. Your back months were all higher, from $1.40 higher to $1.75 higher. January feeder cattle up $1.47 at 266.30. March was up 137 at 265.55. Your back month's up $1.80 to up 220. And then I told you your grains were higher. March corn up 7 cents at 457 3/4. March beans up 6 cents at 997 3/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for March up 14 1/4 at 553 1/4. So big day on ag commodities there to start the week off on Monday. Now, your weighted average on last week's all-time record high fed cattle trade negotiated, there was 68,000 in the 5-area feeding region that were negotiated sales. That compared to 35,300 the previous week, which was a holiday week, Christmas, of course. And the same week a year ago was just 55,200. But I always tell you, there's more negotiated trade when the market's higher. Any dummy would tell you that, but a lot of people argue and say, oh, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have more trade when the prices are higher, or the prices aren't necessarily going to be higher because we have more negotiated trade. Yes, both of those things are true. So we need more negotiated trade. I will say that till the day I die. One reason that we've been able to achieve this second record of the year here after 6 months is because namely Iowa has been selling more, bigger percentage of their cattle in a negotiated basis. So they've got more leverage in the trade, and we've seen them use it here, especially over the last 6 weeks or so. They've just used it and used it because they've been selling so many of their cattle in a negotiated manner, and I think it's very healthy. Those producers in Iowa, they remember they were in the hog business at one time, and they remember what happened when they gave up their negotiated trade and they took the industry completely away from them on feeding hogs. They don't want that to happen on the fed cattle. Apparently the cattle feeders in the Southern Plains were not in the hog business. They did not go through that learning experience, and they're just letting it all wash away. But live prices, fat steers and heifers, in the 5 area last week ranged from 192 to 201. There was 520 head at 201. Pretty significant. Weighted average on live steers in the 5 area, all-time record high 198.93. That was up $4.12 just for the week. $4.12. That's big. Dress prices ranged from 309 to 320. There was 141 head at 320. We'd never seen 320 before dressed either. And weighted average dressed steer price 314.96, all-time record high. That 314.96 was $7.91 higher than just the previous week's dressed weighted average. So big gains. As a whole, the Southern Plains market was $4 higher, from 196 to mostly 197. Northern Plains live market was $3 to $5 higher at mostly $2, and the dress market was straight up $8 higher at mostly $3.15. Now nationwide we sold 85,500, which is pretty impressive, negotiated nationwide, compared to just 44,000 during Christmas week and 69,500 the same week a year ago. Of that 85,500, I didn't catch the percentage we sold for the 2 to 4 week delivery, so I'll have to get back with you on that. Your negotiated grid sales are 45,600, forward contracts 60,100, formula sales 220,400. Of the 4 out of 5 regions that we get information from, Iowa sold 26,100 negotiated last week. That's kind of light for them. The way things are now, they've been selling well into the 30,000s because they're selling more of their cattle negotiated. Nebraska sold 29,100, Kansas 9,500, and Texas only 3,200. New Holland sales stables out there in Pennsylvania, an old stomping ground for me where I reported markets for 3 years back in my younger days. They quoted fat cattle at their Monday fat cattle auction all the way up to $212.50, and the high dressing individuals selling up to $219. So there's higher prices out there, guys. Box beef cutout values were up big on Monday to start the week. Choice cuts up $1.86 at $327.10. Selects up $6.61 at $303.33. Your slaughter to start the week out on Monday was disappointing because we had a couple of plants that were having trouble due to the weather and the wintry conditions up in the Northern Plains. But Monday's estimated cattle slaughter only 109,000. That was 14,000 less than the previous Monday, 5,000 more than the same Monday a year ago when they had weather affecting the slaughter then too. Talk about what else is going on. Lynn's Heritage Angus. Their motto is they cannot afford to have one dissatisfied customer. They're not just talking about in their beef sales, they're also talking about in their customers that buy their breeding cattle. And so that's a motto that they live by in all the products that they sell, including their seed stock herd. They have an excellent buyback program which allows you to top the market on your feeders if you use Lynn's Heritage Angus bulls. But also they've got an excellent first breeding season guarantee. So you don't get that everywhere. You're getting both with Lynn's Heritage Angus beef, and also volume discounts on their sale if you buy 5 or more. Don't forget that sale is coming up on January the 16th right there on the ranch in Byers, Oklahoma. It is going to be on DVAuction.com. You can go on to DVAuction.com and look up the Lynn's Heritage Angus sale and check out the videos of that excellent seed stock bulls there. Got 140 of them to sell. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Monday, after all your sales had completed, was all the way up to 271.21 based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through your middle 12 states. That was a gain of 383 from last week. Gives you an idea how much ground we're making up, getting volume back into those index levels there. Your latest CME cash feeder index was 268.63, so it's making big gains too. Big sales coming up here this week. Today, here on Tuesday, going to have the last of the World Livestock Auctioneer Championship qualifiers. It's going to be at a DV Auction broadcasted sale barn, 4-state stockyards in Exeter, Missouri. That sale barn has gained by leaps and bounds here in recent years, and I'm glad to see them get to host a big qualifying event. They'll have a good run. They'll have some high prices. We'll talk all about it on our next visit, but you can get on to DVAuction.com and watch that sale. Get registered, and you can bid at that sale too. Out there at Exeter, Missouri. That's extreme southwestern Missouri, guys. Talk about your big sales on Monday. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City. They had 7,500 head despite the cold weather. And I was in Oklahoma City on Sunday, and it was cold and miserable and windy and spitting snow. But they got them in there, guys. Ran them through, and just unbelievable market to start the year out for them after being closed for 2 full weeks there. Your steers $2 to $6 higher, both feeders and calves. Feeder heifers are $3 to $4 higher. Your lighter weight heifer calves were $2 to $7 higher. There were spots of at least $15 higher throughout, and just a really impressive sale there at Oklahoma City. No signs of them skipping a beat, guys. An individual quote come from National Commission Company there at the stockyards. 80 head of little pee-wee steer calves, wheat munchers, guys, 400 pounds at $455 in Oklahoma City, guys. Big time quote there. How about some other individual quotes from all around the circuit? How about Faith Livestock Auction in Faith, South Dakota? They sell 110 steer calves, weighed 546 at $334. Those are heifers. There was 110 heifers, weighed 546, bring $334, guys. I don't know whether they were bought for replacements, but there were several groups nearly that high, so probably sort through them and pull some out for replacements, but others will be stocker heifers there, guys. How about eastern Nebraska? Elgin Livestock Sales in Elgin, Nebraska. My buddy Ted Baum there sold 79 steers, weighed 700 pounds smooth at $314. We've been seeing 7 weights drift up to $3, maybe just a little bit over, but all the way up to $314. Wow. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Aberdeen Livestock Sales in Aberdeen, South Dakota. They sell 64 big feeding steers, weighed 963 at $267. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.